Oh dear. Just turned on the Christmas lights at Trafalgar. Oh dear. Been watching the news today. Oh dear. Actually, people make me want to puke predominantly. Anything in the public eye makes me want to puke. And anything. Don't they make you want to puke? Keep it up, keep it up. Yeah. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Making me sick. You all are making me sick. You make me want to throw up to my fucking stomach. That's what you make me want to do. They all are making me want to throw up like a puke. Every single last motherfucking one of them, huh? Make me want to puke. The lying bastards. Anybody else allergic to the news now? They're actually making me want to puke. Even they're making me want to puke. I don't watch it because even down to Princess Harry's bitch. The tabloids, nobody likes the tabloids like, oh, like News fucking Flash. News fucking Flash isn't full of tyrannical, tyrant fucking fascists. Yeah, well done. Well done, mate. Oh, wow, that's on the news. Do you know what else? Fucking news. It's like, oh, you're not allowed to travel in the world because of a bunch of fucking arseholes on a wage that you actually pay for. Politics. Like, really, they need to burn it down to the ground ever more so. So I just jumped on to say that. Am I safe? We got a couple of sun readers around here. What you doing?
Haven't changed your bin.
Right, then allow it. Yeah, a couple of them sun reading dodgy motherfuckers around here. Yeah. I don't actually want to go live, but I just thought I'd jump on there to say that actually allergic to the news, and any motherfucker that follows anything about getting jobs and being able to travel or go to restaurants or go to fucking games, you make me want to puke. Like, I actually do feel like I'm happy not to be part of that human race, but unfortunately, that's a massive demographic. Probably we're talking about 70% of people, 75% of people. So you're telling me I just fundamentally think 75% of 80% of people are actually fucking stupid as fuck. And they haven't got the insight to just like rise above their industrial fucking tyranny and shysterism. It's like royal family to the top to the bottom to whatever, shysterism, money, fucking domination over people and their right to just travel the world. Whether they've got fucking COVID or not, I couldn't give a fuck if you had COVID and I had a cruise ship and you got tested for it. I'd say, that's alright, stay on it, love, because I know that those little test kits are fucking dodgy. I know that it's just picking up on corona, a household germ, just to manipulate, but people can't seem to figure out like that's possible or plausible. And the new strain's named after the planet, home planet of the Simpsons aliens, like, and it's just hit Australia. Like, if you don't need any more of a fucking clue that password sharing, corruption, tyranny, scientific fucking elitism in climate change and all these other factors have played a role in this monstrosity of a fucking storyline, if you don't need any more proof, then I don't know, God help you. Because basically that means then that the 88% of people just conforming and going, yeah, I better get my 2 jabs just so I can... I would get 2 jabs if it meant I wasn't allowed to travel around the world. And that's just fucking emotional, fucking depravity, blackmail, and just bollocks, basically. Bollocks. I should trust you to intravenously shoot me up, should I? Fucking bunch of wankers. When I have actually more, like, if you're a religious person still, if you're from Islam and you don't believe in blood transfusions, you still say, I don't want to get a jab. I might be born Christian, but I don't want to get a jab out of pure principle. Because like I said, even as a kid, I'd say don't fucking give me a chickenpox jab. I'd rather just not bother, thanks, because I've got chickenpox anyway. I don't want your measles, because I'm going to get measles anyway. I don't want your mumps, because I'm going to get fucking mumps anyway. So at the end of the day, it's like, once you come to about the educated age of 40, you can say fuck off to things. I think it's like a God-given right. and you shouldn't be impeded on your travels because you are exempt. Maybe you're exempt because you have other religious beliefs, or maybe you're exempt because of other things, because science is not God. Science is not God, and quite frankly, the new generations rising up are even more sterile and Puritan fucking moronic than ever before, and they think they're so fucking clever. It's like, see, hey, hi, Joddy Kazade, I'm just ranting, just having a rant here, because I did a thing the other day. It's getting worse, isn't it? I think community's getting worse. I mean, like, let's try this new Lampard. Yeah, it's like a disco. Yeah, let's give it a rant. It's like new generations. What's wrong with people? It's like, what is the LGBT community? Is it just trying to be some, like, rainbow in French is archangel? So is it like the rainbow has to incorporate every motherfucker under the sun? And then it's not really a group anymore anyway, it's the whole population of the planet. Because it was set up to, like, say, women can love women, men can love men, bisexuality is okay, LGBT. And then it's like, and now you got all these other things want to come under it. And it's like, I feel it's like sterile Puritan bullshit. It's like, you got to accept non-binary. For me, what is that? What is the fuck is non-binary? That's just like making yourself redundant out the race early on. Oh, I'm a 16-year-old non-binary. It's like, fucking hell. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And it's like, oh God, I'm seriously, every time I listen to the news, it just sets me off on one. It's like, I go into one. It's like, fucking drives me up the wall. Literally up the wall. Non-binary people. What's non-binary? Oh, I don't identify as a woman. Yeah, fair enough, like, I don't identify as this. But then what is a nun or a Buddhist monk? They adorn clothes so they ain't got to identify with their sexuality because it's not high on their priority list, which would be disassociated from just randomalism, might be a bit autistic, might be a bit this, might be a bit that. It's a whole lot of brackets, but then you say, I'm non-binary. You might as well just be saying I'm an android, innit? Synthetic people. And to be honest with you, like, when you come to getting your bits adjusted, transgender, I am now a man, or I am now a woman. No, you're not really. To me, no offence to you, and I don't mind if you find it offensive, but you're really just a synthetic human being now, because you ain't got the authentic shit. You got chemicals pumped into you, and you're a synthesized person. You're a synth. Some people might like that, but it's more like cosplay, innit? Same as that is more like cosplay. It's like in the realms of not communing, in a way. It's a bit antisocial non-binary, and the new definition's creeping up, if anything. That's what I think, because LGBT was set up for men and women. It was set up for men and women, because that's what you are on planet Earth, Adam and Eve, believe it or not. And no matter what you're trying to do, you're just moving out the realms of, whatever. Not community, is it? It's not human community. It's like Mark Zuckerberg world in the flesh. That's me. I'll rant over for today, I think. And it's like on a radio. I don't know if you're worldwide radio, but Radio 6, is it? BBC 6. They're a bit alternative, and then they jank on about, like, they put artists on that say things like, I don't like humans anymore, or I'm this or this or this. And I feel like the whole industrial realm is just made to make people not like humans anymore. Or is that just me? Am I alone in the world now? Because, quite frankly, Anonymous, so full of promise. Oh, on the 5th of November, we're really going to sort it out because we're not taking this anymore. All talk, no all trousers, all talk, no action. By now we should have had a Fight Club system in place by now, shouldn't we? As the people, I think we might have, because you're allowed in restaurants and you shouldn't even be checking, like, COVID passports. I have yet to travel since this bollocks, so we'll see. But if I book a ticket around Europe, I don't expect to be like, have you got a COVID passport? And if they do, Jesus, it's a good job I'm not a cray and I haven't got a firearm, because I think I'd go out in style, mate. Fuckers, yeah, now. Can't come into your country. Be good, wouldn't it? Because if you don't know my backstory, I got arrested last year at Venice, coming back from Venice, at Stansted Airport. They said it was for sending letters to this bird that I'd known briefly, but I think she's more of a plant in the industrial sense of the word. and it was like LGBT hate crime in the uniform because you're in a cell. It's like, why am I in a cell for? There's no indication of threat. That's just a letter to a person. What are you saying? And shouldn't you employ a fucking warning before you employ cuffs and an airport arrest? And then I was in Bournemouth and they arrested me down there, and I was just sitting on the beach, and it was like, I spent 36 hours in a cell, which is against all your human rights, 24 hours down there, just like a little loophole, because I live in London. And then it was like 24 hours, 24 hours. And then hour 36, do you know anything about a birthday card? It's like, if you've got no respect for a citizen, then you're gonna cultivate a certain level of disrespect for fucking authority, aren't you? Even though I've got this, and I come from quite a high up position at the O2, I was like, Operation Security in charge, 14 people. But, you know, when I look at them, I'm like, I'd never stoop so low as to do that. It's like, what are you doing? It's one party non-consenting bondage. You put someone in a cell holding them against their will, and then you listen to stories about children getting abused on the news today, and you hear that the police had gone to the address and they didn't do fuck all about it. Oh, I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because they're abusive cunts. Maybe they don't care. Because they actually don't care. They like an opportunity to get sort of like sadistic. I don't like to talk like this because I perpetuate it. Your thoughts are your reality. Don't talk of what you've seen. Don't. Just pretend that it didn't exist. But yeah, it's quite scary and intimidating if they're breaking all your human rights and acting like absolute, you know, what's the word, getting a bit sadistic about. And it's like, and then you're listening to Prince Harry's missus saying that the tabloids are making people like that, and yeah, they are a bit, they're fascists or whatever. Fair play, I shouldn't complain that they're getting up to speed, but I mean, shit, hasn't it been like that for a long time? Haven't people been complaining about the peace for such and for fucking ever? Are they not the demographic? Basically, like your London demographic, have it the fucking worst. We deserve fucking hardship payments. It's like the fucking depravity'sville. It's the worst. Take that fucking filter out. I mean, what are we listening? There's nothing I fucking want to even listen to on the news anymore, because it's just like you're all fucking lagging like 10 miles behind, like real cultivated, like East End culture, South East culture. But then, having said that, I feel like the police are all in sometimes around venues and stuff and establishments, and sometimes it can get a little bit too close for comfort, because quite frankly, they're always at the fucking school around the corner from me, and I don't feel safe. It's like, you got to deal with the fact that they're just abusing all your human rights, and then they're just sitting on your fucking doorstep, basically. I mean, if that's not fucking intimidation, harassment and threat in your community, I don't know what is. If you're going to flaunt my human rights, and then fucking sit on my doorstep, don't tell me that's not fucking intimidation, harassment, causing alarm and distress. Alarm and distress. So yeah, that's what they do, basically. That's what I think their job is, because I don't see no problems in people, and I live a broad life and walk around. I went to loads of festivals, I met lots of people, I've been to loads of establishments, to loads of raves, to loads of shit, had loads of jobs, and what crime do I see? Nothing that they're worth calling people for. Nothing that I'm worth calling them for. I ain't seen nothing. I think I called them once because some lunatic was walking around in the road once in Gatford. And I called them once because there was somebody yeah. But I don't call them on people, generally. Because I just think they're an abusive element in the community, really. And that's me. Unless they're investigating something, and then you'd call all detective constables. But if they're set on somebody like me, where there's no crime, no victim, then they can use Interpol, because I've got a bail date that's been moved round. I've had it moved around 4 times. There have been no-shows. I keep showing up. They leave me on a wanted system. If I go again, I'm going to sit there, and they don't show up. What, I've got to sit there and listen patiently for like half hour till some cunt turns up, and then they're like, oh, film it. My mum plays Spielberg. Question their integrity some more, you know, because it is what it is, like a total injustice and bullshit, just there to stress you out. And if you want to, I said, like, I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to turn up to them 4 times, 4 times, just fucking with your life for literally nothing. And they're like, if you go travelling, are you safe to travel? Because they can put on the whole show. It's like you've been totally manipulated and bullied in a schoolyard establishment that is just the world, with their Interpol, and they can just see where you're going, what you're doing, just like fucking make your life a living hell, can't they? And then they say, like, and they statistically, how many people commit suicide? Because sometimes it's police. Well, it's because, like, you might be in a relationship where a woman's just malicious and she's called the police on somebody that might even want to be a policeman and turn the whole world to shit. Things like that. You don't think about these things, do you? Contextually, let's do a poll. How many people do you know commit suicide, and was it because there was peace in their life? I couldn't give a fuck about them personally. I just pity them, really. It's like locking people in a room that have not done anything. What is that? That's like a sexual perversion that's actually on a wage, that's enabled and facilitated by the British or any public around the world. Like, I mean, what are they? Just a bunch of gangsters that keep felonious twats fronts for industrial in place because it's good for business. But it's only good for business if you believe in the storylines. And then when it's one big fat shyster, and we're living in a skank, septic, fucking stink tank of a world because of the mentality of the politicians and because of big industrial science, story, plot lines, manipulating a thing called corona, a household germ, into this and this and this and this, and then putting all these strict sanctions and rules on, like they're turning the screws like that. It's enough to make anybody a sociopath, right? No? Or are you just one of them, oh, I don't mind, I get it. It's just an intellectual thing. And there's a big spectrum of intellects out there from 1 to 100. And a lot of people just roll on their back and go like that. But then there's the weed smoking, more enlightened people, the ones that have these spider senses that maybe have eaten magic mushrooms. It's like, I can see their kind that has no respect for actually boundaries or anything. They're just operating off of like password sharing, corrupted, hacked kind of life, climate bullshit, ruse shit, just to control the environment for a while. Oh, and I'm being getting up by police all of a sudden. I'm getting attacked at the airport, and I'm getting attacked on my holiday. I'm being arrested and spending 60 hours in a prison cell. For what? Is it because of a COVID storyline enabling them? Because it's just turning the screws into that draconian fascist state that is the UK. Personally, it's like if they can't get you through the police, then they start asking you questions like, do you suffer from depression? It's like, I think anybody's got the right to be depressed and they spent 60 hours in a fucking cell for what? It's like, and they'll get it to you like this. So it's like to be put into all these situations, and it's just being enabled by industrial plotlines bullshit. And it's like, oh, what we got here now? I ain't no fucking hero. Don't want to be persecuted like some next Jesus bollocks. Just for fucking having an opinion and actually just saying, calling shyster on day one when your spider senses say shyster storyline. Bullshit. Smell it. I smell bullshit. Say it day one, then they're going to get you. What is it? Technology on the internet. Maybe they use IA, they use AI technology to read what people write and stuff. Can I meow like a fish? Well, that's fucking impossible, innit? Can you? Can you meow like a fish? Meow like a fish. Malawi?
No, I'm busy.
Are you?
Yes, I'm cooking dinner.
Yeah, tell them, come here, tell them. Tell them how bad they've been, the police, and tell them. Say my poor daughter putting a peel out for me. Come here, put a peel out.
They're picking on her, yes, I know. But she should still go Monday to the what's it.
You should go to the fourth bow day where they haven't showed 3 times. Oh, I should do that because I'm a little subservient cunt. Ban me. Just ban my life because there's a man that does really sensible, nice lives and he doesn't even fucking swear. Cunt. And he gets banned, so why haven't you banned me yet, somebody? Because I'm going to go and make my dinner and I couldn't give a motherfucking fuck about anything anymore because basically you feel like your fucking neck's on the line and your head's in the fucking noose because you got a bunch of fucking wankers above your head. And it's like, it's I don't know, it's a spectrum. It's like, there's these, I sent an email to 150 people, like, and solicitors and people, and apparently there aren't any legal aid. They can't actually legally aid me.
I stick up for my daughter all the way. She ain't done nothing really wrong.
I sent a birthday card, Mum.
What's it?
Yeah, that was worth 48 hours in the cell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cunts. They had to phone around for that as well, like acting off their own volition to see if we've got anything on this one, because they left me on a wanting system because they're fucking incompetent cunts. What?
How long's your silver thing going to take? Because I'm taking the chicken out now, but not the
Probably look at it and see.
You have beans?
Probably.
Or you have to come down and
I'm gonna go. But yeah, 150 emails, not one person can help you. Apparently there are no legal people who can't do civil matters. I'm sorry, you got too many cases on already. Too many cases of police bollocks in the country that is the UK. Too much going on in alcoholation. You know, my first dealing with them was because of alcohol after a unity march, and it was another felonious case of bullshit. Just harassing, intimidating me, walking home, minding my own business. Harassing and intimidating me, causing alarm and distress. You react, and then you get that. They turn it around like. So yeah, it's like you don't feel safe once they start harassing you on that level. And I don't know if it's because of social media, because I built up my status on my Facebook, which is a government tool, that's what they say. The Facebook is, that was always, and there is a film called Snowden that goes right into that and says about the FBI used to just basically open your camera and look at you any time of the day on your laptop, walking around, monitor everything about you. So that's Facebook for you. So 2016, I was at a unity march and I was just like, are they just throwing a book at me because they think that I'm challenging the status quo because I do anti-weaponry shit and stuff. There's more to like heaven and earth than you'd ever understand. Like, because the film industry, they have Met on set. The Metropolitan Police Ball, the Met. So it's like once you meet all these worlds, you're like, the Met are always on set. So when they met out in the community, because they've caused me to lose my van by a controlled collision using some prop Toyota that just touched me, and the plant woman that I'm more in trouble for. So you sort of like formulate all these ideas and you're like, shit, why don't you take me to court? Because the mass amount of fucking compensation I'm owed right now is fucking unbelievable. And sometimes you think, yeah, I'm manifesting alright. I'm fucking manifesting, but if I'm safe enough and I don't get topped before I fucking get to a court, I don't even want to go to court because I'd have to defend myself because apparently nobody's available. Yeah, take me to court. Fucking unfair fucking arrests. All the fucking list is getting longer and longer. 24 hours I spent in a cell for that drunken disorderly. It should have been that. It should have been let out the next day, but it went to court and it got diminished. Might have offended a member of the public with my mouth. I can live with that, but then they manipulated my CRB, so like I write to the Complaints Commission, and you complain, and you complain, and you complain, and it's the same as these wankers. Like, honestly, there's a fault on a card, I've been going around a circle, and then it's like, oh, you should have kept the paper trail, you need to complain to the lottery first, the lottery sends you them, and then you complain to them, and then they say, go complain to the lottery. You're like, I just complained, they told me to complain to you. Oh, go complain to them first and make sure there's a paper trail. Oh, really? So I'm going to spend another fucking 60 quid, am I, in recorded delivery, sending the fucking thing back and forth again, because you're telling me they don't keep a fucking record, even though they give you a reference number. I just give up. It's like, that's the way they like it, isn't it? They like it, everybody just give up. And it's like, this is the thing as well. It's like, what I'm being done for literally nothing. This woman should have employed a strongly worded email saying, fuck off. She is in the mental health system, and she's told me she's got coke demons, hearing shit outside the house, apparently, because I've never been on her doorstep. So it's like, that. There's people around London, you hear similar stories. And it's like, there's a guy that I did a choir thing with, and he got with a woman there, and because they kept going to the same events, and they kept calling the police on each other like two immature children, he ended up going to prison for that. I'm like, he only went to prison because he's from Bulgaria and he don't know his fucking human rights. And it's like, if you click on your thing when it says support a cause when you do your videos, click on it and go there. It's like human rights, like the USA, like all different races going to prison and shit. And you've seen Orange is the New Black, haven't you? And how they abuse different ethnic minorities and lock them up in prison. Same in the UK. It's like, poor fucker, going to prison and being extradited just because of that psycho bitch at choir. Oh! You know, the things you see and hear. And it's like, I'm not prepared to get to what? For a birthday card. It's like, if you get that by the wrong person, and I'm pretty sure that it was an industrial plant name, because there are certain names, and you can just sort of like, it's on Priro, and you're like, that name doesn't exist in history because cars only appeared at a certain date in history, so they're more Mickey Mouse, industrial. And yeah, long story, police lost me my van, and then they were trying to harass me with a county court threat about this incident where there was no damage to either party, but I couldn't report it because the same woman that I'm in trouble with took the details, and then proceeded to ghost me. Setups and shit. And it's just amazing how conniving and manipulative some people are in your exterior world. I'm just Miss Innocent. I'm fucking as good as autistic walking around in my bubble thinking everyone's great and fucking fun until it turns out they're all cunts. And there you go. That's my story. I'll catch you later. I've got to go and do dinner. Bye. Please love me. Please share. Fucking fight the power. Fight the power. Cray. Seen one of my Cray videos. Oh, for a shooter. Can I have an egg, please? Sorry, that's on the child's menu. Gets out his shooter. It's funny, there's this punk pub in South East, and there's a bloke, and he was like, he does this all the time to make it look like he's got one. It's funny. I was like, I wouldn't muck about that. I wouldn't want to do that sort of shit, would you? Not in London. You get shot by the police. And then they got all their things like, we're concerned about firearms everywhere. Like, fuck off, are you? You're the cunts with all the shooters. Ah.